Are we ready? I know I am. So whether or not you are, it's time for another episode of the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Hey, my name is Adam. You are the Pixel Pals. I've already said the name of the show, so without further ado, it's time to go. Welcome everyone to the Monday edition of the stream. Is it Monday? It feels like a Monday. Today we're working on more Insignia dev, and I'll be doing some animation off the top of the stream. Hopefully everyone's having a good day wherever you are. And let's bring this a bit forward so that we don't get any issues with that green screen. Very good. I've had a busy day. Not all of it has been, unfortunately, development time. It's just been working time. But I have been doing a lot of work on the weekend on our side project, Slashcore, which we might be calling it. I don't know if we'll keep that name. I can show you off some stuff that I've been working on. I want to say a big welcome to everybody who's here in chat on both Twitch and YouTube. We've got Aria JP here in the chat. We've got Virtue versus Vice, Kenji Maru, all with yellow names. Oh, and Shamguz is here. Welcome. Big thanks to anyone watching on YouTube who happens to be lurking. Welcome. Also, and watching the VOD. Also, a big welcome to the Red Beast for the most recent follow, and Kindra K for the most recent subscription. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So, yeah, I've been working on this like side project over the weekend that I guess I could run it for you. The only problem is it requires a controller now in order to interact with it. So let me fire it up, and then I'll grab a controller and we'll play with it for a bit. One sec. I told you 1 sec, I found a controller. Okay. All right. So last stream, we were working on the basics of the gameplay for this thing. And we got a fair way through. But at the time I was just using mouse dragging and releasing. And in the time since, I've added a lot to the concept. And I've added a lot to the gameplay. So I want to share that with you. Okay. So first of all, concept-wise, let's just put Insignia away for a second. Slashcore. This is a multiplayer local fighting game for up to 4 people, 2 to 4. It is based on the Arrowbound format of flinging your character around. I've been doing some design of the characters. They will look something like this, including Apollo from Arrowbound. Very, very simple game. I don't have many, it's not a complicated thing. So the gameplay, hopefully this controller works. If I connect somebody, there we go. Now let's turn off this frame. That doesn't need to be here. Goodbye. All right, check this out. So the way it works is you pull in a direction, and when you release, your character goes in that direction. And I can show you a little bit more if I bring the gizmos up at this size here. You can see kind of what's happening here. So the red is my analog stick, and as I move the stick around, you can see that's where the sword is going to go. And when I release it, I launch in that direction, proportional to the maximum that I could move with the analog stick. So yeah, it's also got multiplayer. So there's another player in this game, and I've got a little basic gameplay setup where whoever hits the other person harder, the person who got hurt the hardest turns red, and then you chase each other. So yeah, the controls actually work really well. I built my own flick detector with this system. So I am basically checking every frame what the position of the analog stick is. And then based on the position of the analog stick, when you release it, I'm checking the delta, like from where you previously had it to where it is right now. Is that beyond a certain threshold? Actually, no, what I'm really checking is if it's 0 right now, so if it's in the dead zone, what was the previous maximum value that you had? And that maximum value can go down if your current value is like, it kind of refreshes every like fifth of a second. So as you're pulling out, every fifth of a second, that's getting reset to the current position. And then as soon as if you've like flicking and you let go, it's the biggest position since you released it. Well, since before you released it. The biggest position in the last 200 milliseconds since you released the controller. That's what the current behavior is. And it's good, it works. As you are flinging through the air, when you hold the button again, you go into bullet time. So you can do 2, 1, 2. And yeah, it's actually like, my wife picked it up in like 2 seconds. She just got it straight away. And then we like played tip, or you call it tag in America. We played tag with each other for like 5 minutes. We're just running around, attacking each other. So I'm very happy with how the game functions. I think it's like a winning system for sure. And now we just need to start doing things like, winning a game, managing like if we want to do stamina, rounds, that kind of thing, different, the game modes, all that stuff. So I think like a lot of what makes the game could be done in like a day or two, to be honest with you. I think I could go from what I have right now to like a game that I could play with 4 people in literally like a day. And I think what I'll try to do is bring this to the next game dev meetup, and I'll do a little vlog or something about how that went soon. So that's next week, there's a meetup. So I could do this like maybe on Friday and Saturday. We could do some more work on this, and then I'll play test it next Tuesday. And then, yeah, we should be good to go. So that's where we're at with this project. I wanted to just show you really quickly the character art that I have been putting together. So, hey, welcome. So this is like me doing a little bit of repurposing, like Arrowbound tiles and stuff like that. And it was actually really interesting because we were designing these characters in the game, or we being me and you, chat. We're designing the character, and then I realized that like a lot of the existing proportions of the main character from Arrowbound work perfectly with the game. So essentially, I started with the idea that I would like this was the original thing from like 2018, right? Body and head. The head's like double the size it should be and like half of the body height. And then in Project Apollo, he looks like this. So Arrowbound, he looks like this. Right, let's just say. And I thought that looked really good. And then working inside of the game, I noticed that like they're almost the same size. But I have an opportunity here where I could maximize the head even bigger and make the body even smaller. So I've gone for like literally the head is like 60% and the body is like 40%. And I quite like it. Honestly, I think it looks really good. It almost reminds me of those Final Fantasy, up until Final Fantasy VI, the sprites. He says, as the Final Fantasy music plays. I think it could look really cool. So the weapons obviously will be moving around in space. So you have like, the weapons will be doing stuff like this. And the characters will be mostly stable with just like extremities like the hair animating as it does in like Celeste. That's pretty much what we're going for. So I'm actually like we went from this, which was like a head with a little nubbin on the bottom, and then the Arrowbound art, which was this, and then found somewhere in the middle that I think is actually going to be quite nice. And it doesn't require these characters don't walk, so it doesn't require like jumping and landing animations. I could do jumping, like it doesn't require like a walk cycle, you know, but like how much really does this need to animate to look like the character is jumping or not? I might not even do rotation of the character art at all. Like the character can just bounce around. And then I'm happy to just use pixel perfect rotation for this. Yeah, I'll just use a render texture that's low res and then just let it rotate within the low res quantized render texture. And I think we got ourselves a game. Like, I don't think this is going to take me long at all. I'm really excited about the character art. I think that's like a lot of opportunity there to make it really fun. And then, yeah, like I think we got a game pretty quickly here. So there'll be a lot of energy, I think, put into like things like the UX and the motion graphic design of the game, how it moves, how it sort of presents itself. Jumping into a level, that kind of thing, moving in and out of the UI. I really want to put a lot of effort there. And then like the VFX juice of like hitting characters and like how that'll work, that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's what I was working on over the weekend. So now I also probably should mention I'm doing a revamp of the Up on Hill website and the Insignia website, mostly because my host got my host that I was using for my website got bought out, and then that company got bought out by another company, and then that company is charging me like a ridiculous amount in web hosting. So I've decided like I'm actually just going to ditch my web host altogether and just host it through GitHub pages, just statically. And so today I was just doing that. And I think I have something working. I think it technically works. It's not set up properly, but the website's up at uponhill.com. I think it will work if I go to it. Yeah. So it actually is currently being hosted by GitHub, which is fine. I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So I was actually checking to see if I rerouted the DNS correctly, like before I left, and then I got home and then immediately started streaming. So I guess I set it up correctly. So yeah. Alrighty. Today we are working on Insignia. I had previously delegated this animation to Morgan P, who is animating for us, but she's gone back to her regular job for now and lost a bit of momentum on this one. So I'm just going to take over and we'll do this today. Okie dokie. I think I can smash this out pretty quickly. Hey, Chaco, a game review. What have you got for us? Robot camping. Your first isometric. Okay. I see a map. How do I... Was there a little bit of AI in this project? A little bit of vibe coding? So how do I play? How do I collect resources? People are dying in my camp. I'm actually dying here. How did I notice AI? I can just tell. I'll tell you how I know. The UI is really, really good. It's got more energy put into it than the game so far. That's how I know. Like the game being like sort of disproportionately polished is probably the easiest giveaway. I don't mean it to be too like, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything. I just know, I can just tell. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I think I've ruined the game for myself. How do I, is there like a way to reset? Like the save file is the same. There's no like game reset. It's just progressing the days forward and it's saving all my progress every day. So I'm getting like beaten in the REST UI. Okay. It's also like, I think, you know, it's nice that there are systems that are already set up, but I'm finding it very hard to appreciate what the game is supposed to feel like. Like, I don't really know. Like the game right now, I feel like the onboarding of the game is not there. And there's a lot of, what's the word? Complete reset. There's a lot of systems. Well, not just this intro story, but like how you're supposed to play it. Like, what does it mean to play the game? How do I get? What do I collect? What do I need? Am I supposed to destroy the trees? Am I supposed to? I know I need resources, but like these dogs are like so aggressive. So like, what does day one look like for me? Am I supposed to run away? Am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do? Yeah. Because like usually in a game like this, for example, you would typically start by creating just the most basic flow, essentially, of like, okay, this is one piece of a barricade. You make this using 2 wood and 1 stone or whatever. Here is a stone on the ground. Here is some wood. Pick up the wood, make a barricade. And then like, okay, now make 5 barricades. Like even this, like barricades will do damage to enemies as they try to approach it. You know, just some like really, really basics of like, what is this game that you've designed? What is the game about? What am I supposed to do? And some story would help. Like, okay, I'm this robot, but like, what is my job? What's the setup for this? Am I doing this infinitely or am I doing this just for now? Just context is super helpful. Just some context is very, very, very helpful. You know, like why, and even just like structure for the AI would be really helpful for me. So the fact that like the enemy can come from anywhere is really tough. I feel like for this kind of game, it would actually be really helpful if, at least in like level 1 or whatever, if the enemies could only come from one side and attack one space. Like in most tower defense games, the enemies come from one pathway. And so like when I'm building a barricade, these are quite expensive. I need 7 wood to make one of these. I don't even know if I can, like, I don't even know how to make 1 wood. You know what I mean? I still haven't collected one yet. Do I just hit this tree until the tree gives out? Like this one doesn't have a health bar, so I don't really know how long I'm going to be here bashing away at the tree, but okay, I got 1 wood. Okay, so like making a barricade is going to take me, just to repair one costs 7. So there's like no, at least right now, it feels like there's no thought into like the game balance, you know, like how is it supposed to feel? What's the intended play path? And this is where I think the AI part is a little bit obvious, because the AI has given you so much game, but no gameplay. Like the aspects of what you are expecting the player to do, how it's supposed to feel, the design isn't there. It's just like a lot of systems and a lot of stuff that's built, but it doesn't feel like it's built with much intent behind it yet. So I would say like all of these upgrades, just giving me a big sheet of upgrades is overwhelming to me. As a player, I would love to see a tree of upgrades that starts somewhere that's very obvious, that's really useful, and then becomes more like optional or more niche as I go to the edges. Something where I feel like I have choices and I'm making those choices with intention. But right now, like, it's not designed that way. It's just, these are all the things that can happen. Here they are in a big list. So in terms of like the pieces, I mean, sure. Yeah, a game where you get attacked and you break things apart and you build things, you know, out of the broken stuff that you broke, that feels fine. I mean, that's proven. But how the game feels to play is very different. So I would say, like, for you, if you want someone to be able to playtest this and you're trying to get them to, if you want someone to play it and enjoy it, I think you should play it a lot first. I think you should play it until you can be sure that someone who's never played it before intuitively knows how to play it. Like, get those first 3 days of gameplay right. I have a feeling right now there's not much of a level design system to speak of. I think you probably just have your level and then you're just spawning more and more enemies every day. But I think there needs to be a very fixed, like curated first, 3 or 5 days. I think you should design what happens. Yeah. I think I'm good for this one. It's hard to make games, but you have to do a lot of this stuff. Building systems it's not enough. It's not all there is, right? There's a lot more to it than that. And so far it looks okay. It looks good. The dogs, all the characters look pretty good for prototype. It's just there needs to be more here. And not more in terms of more volume, but more in terms of like more care. Yeah. I want to see more of your interest inside of it. Hey, Mick Choquette. Usually it's about 20 minutes. I try to aim for that. Sometimes I spend more, sometimes I spend less. Yeah. Hey, Naib. I love my Windows Media Player. Yeah, I mean, look, I think like if you're just trying to design something, it can be helpful to put something on the page before you want to curate it. So like where you are now, where you just have something is fine. I think you're going to struggle. I don't know, but I have a sense that you will struggle from here actually tuning it down into something that's good, because I think you've already got a lot of code. So designing it to be smaller in scope is going to be harder than making it bigger. Making it bigger with AI is very easy. But saying, no, I want it to feel specifically like this, that's going to require you to get in there and fiddle with the numbers. And I'm a little bit, I don't know what that feels like. I don't know how that works in terms of vibe coding. Yeah, most of the time when building something like that by hand, you can't get that far into a game. Like you had like 100 abilities or something, 100 unlocks. You can't get 100 unlocks into the game without playtesting the game. So the fact that you had so many kind of tipped me off a little bit as well. Like so much UI, but not enough design. It's not even less is more. It's that like the necessary path to getting, like if you're trying to make a game, having something and then something that's got a lot of content usually requires you to play test the thing on the way towards the content. So, I mean, like I was showcasing a game that I was making earlier just now, and that game, having it just be fun to interact with, and like, I don't have the characters in the game yet, but that's going to take some work. And I can concept the characters, right? I'm like, oh, maybe there'll be like a samurai guy. Maybe there'll be like a knight. These, with AI, it'd be very easy to make something where each of these characters exist in the game and have like very featured skill trees and stuff. But like whether that's even a good idea is something that if I was to build it myself, I have to be confronted with whether it's a good idea before I build all the stuff. You know, because just trying to build it requires me to play it. So I think just being mindful of that and not letting that trap you is going to be really important. If you can somehow manage to stop the scope creep and keep it contained and designed, I think that'll help. Thanks, no artist available. Yeah, I'm actually really excited to work on this more. Like, if it was up to me, I would spend the next 2 weeks just making this game. I think I could have something that looked and played well in literally 3 days, I think. But we'll save that. I got work to do on Insignia. Okay, let's get some animation done, shall we? Alrighty. These are all on separate layers, sort of. Yeah. 14 Fun Fridays. What is going on here? Oh, I see. I'm using a pen. Hey, Blood Red, thank you so much for the sub. Scope creep is okay. The point is you need to be able to control. It's not about not scope creeping. It's about being able to understand how it's about budgeting scope. Like understanding, okay, this exercise that I'm doing right now is going to take me this long, and it might reveal these kinds of things to me. What can I learn from this exercise? And how does that limit or extend my options for the next thing I want to do? Is this going to create tech debt? Do I have a way of maintaining this? How can I keep the parts about this that are useful to me without getting sidetracked in my design, right? You're sort of navigating a design space when you create extra scope or you prototype stuff. That navigation can be extremely valuable, right? You can learn so much while doing that, and you probably should learn a lot and do that, as much as you like when you're early on in a project, because it'll reveal parts of the project to you that could be really valuable that you don't know about yet because they're not in your original plans. That's a good thing. But then as you get further in, the end destination of a design exercise is to leave the project in a position where it knows what it is and what it isn't, so that you can just focus on getting it into people's hands, right? It's like not just a game that you've made or a project that you've worked on. It's like something that people would be interested in buying. And so like you're designing, assuming you want to release your game, you're designing towards like marketability. So how do I make sure my game is marketable? Well, it needs to know what it is first. So if you're still figuring out what that is, then yeah, scope creep is fine. Scope inflation and dilation is normal. But then at a certain point, you have to be able to say, okay, now I know what the game is and what I'm working towards. Now these kinds of things are incompatible with that vision. I actually, when I look at Insignia, a lot of the work that I've done, I look back on, and you could look at it and say, oh, that was scope creep. But actually, I look at it and I say, to me, a lot of it is like, well, I was still figuring out what the game needed to be. Like what I was trying to make, what was practical to invest my time into, ways of building things. There's a lot of stuff there that I learned, and I needed to learn it because I wasn't heading towards a fun game without it. So without those lessons. So, it's not just about the project and what it needs, but it's also about what you need as a developer, because getting like more skilled is super valuable to you. Even if it slows down your current project a little bit, if it helps you in the long run, maybe you want to spend that time. R&D is a valuable thing. It's just the thing that's scary about scope creep is that if you don't know what you're doing, it can be an indefinite process. So it's really mostly about intention. Like, are you okay with spending this time? Are you going to be okay having spent the time? usually have a good idea about what the game is supposed to be, and the scope creep goes into making the game better in a more complex sense. But as a solo developer, I can only do so much before it starts becoming too much work for one person. Yeah, that can happen. It's what happened to me. Well, there's different properties here. Like there's the shape of the game, which is like to your tastes. It's like, I think I'm going to make a triangle. As you start building the triangle, you start realizing, actually, my skill set or like this particular triangle actually wants to be a square. And you go, okay, well, maybe I'll try to see what happens if I make my triangle a square. Maybe it'll be a stronger shape or a better shape or more to my tastes. So you build the square, you think you really like the square. Then you realize, oh, actually, to market the square, people don't want to buy squares this big. They actually only want to play squares that are this big. So now you have to make a square that's this big, which means you have to increase the size of it. All of that, if you naturally found your way here, I think that's okay. But if you say, well, the thing I want to make is, oh, it can only be this big, or maybe circles are the only things that can be that big that people want to buy or that are interesting. So you start with a triangle, and instead of going, well, maybe I like squares better, you say, well, what else can fit inside of this shape? That's very abstract, but that's the kind of, you have a constraint, right? There's something that you can't change or that you can change. For you, maybe you're stuck solo. So you have to think, what can I make solo that fits into the shape that I'm capable of making? Or maybe I have to change what I'm capable of making so that I can make something that I can release as a solo developer. For me, it was, I think my game would be best as a game made by more people. So I'm going to learn how to be a director. I'm going to learn how to build a team project and work with a team. That's the choice that I made. But I could have made a different choice. I could have made a choice to make the game smaller. Well, that's the thing. Do you want your game to appeal to the masses? Masses is a different thing. Like, that's a perfect other example. Maybe your sales requirements don't have to be sell 1 million copies. Maybe you only need to sell 10,000 copies. Maybe you only need to sell 1,000 copies. If you could be happy, if you could set a target where 1,000 copies gets you what you need to keep making more games, then just that sounds like a plan, you know? I've got a friend who makes very small games. He works for a company full time. He makes the small games in his side as like a side project thing. And he does that very happily, you know? They don't appeal to the masses, but he doesn't need them to because that's not his main full-time thing. And they're good games. I like them. I think he deserves, like, they're very successful games. He gets to keep making them, but they're successful within the category that he's willing to invest the energy for. So he doesn't have a big marketing budget, so he doesn't market them that much. And they don't sell as much as they would have if they were marketed to a big, you know, audience, but that's okay because he only invests a few months into them at a time. So because they're not big projects, they don't need to make a lot of money. But they're projects that he can make. That's the important part. So he still gets to keep working on games. He still gets to, you know, keep increasing his skills. You know, he releases something new every year. Sounds great to me. I'll show you one of his games. This is Leap Year. This is made by Dan. It's a Metroidvania, so it's kind of like a Metroidvania, but all you do is jump. That's the whole game. Okay? Super simple game. But it's a platformer where you can't jump any lower than you started. So it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle game. You actually like, you can't, you can only jump upwards. You can fall down, I think, like one block. I don't know if there are slopes in it. I can't remember. He hand drew all of the art just with like a shader over the top. It's all just pixel art that was shaded. Super simple, nothing really fancy going on. And it takes a few hours to complete. But it's a game that, like, you know, made like 200K. Pretty good for like a 6-month project. I think it's on Switch as well. And it's not his full-time thing. Pretty good. Yeah, of course I can. Sorry about that. And it's a $5 game. Like, he's not asking for much. You know? That's what makes it worth it. What's Armin doing here? This is Armin guarding in a way that's poor. This is a bad guard. So he's just been hit, and then he's not like, doesn't get knocked over. He just loses his footing for a bit. So he's like, bah, and then readjusts. That's what it's supposed to be. Momentary loss of posture. It's basically a disadvantage state. Well, it's when the player guards improperly, because there's directional guarding in this game. So if you push the wrong direction, you don't take damage, you just take posture damage and you go into disadvantage. It's a very like frame specific thing. Yeah, it's like a Sekiro-like thing, exactly. I've realized that what I'm making is a Sekiro-like in a lot of ways. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Sekiro is such a, like, poise is such an interesting idea because it pushes what is, you know, Dark Souls, which is an RPG, into fighting game space. And a lot of Insignia's instincts as a game come from that, because and from a different direction. It's more of a Smash Brothers thing. But it's the same outcome. A soundtrack and sound effects for Insignia. I have, well, I first wrote the soundtrack for the game myself. And a lot of the inspiration for the soundtrack came from a game, like games that I played as a kid that I really liked, and thematically that overlapped with Insignia. So like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance was a big one, really big inspiration for the soundtrack. And then actually Undertale was as well, in a lot of ways. Not that it became like a huge inspiration, but just for the sound specifically, I thought Undertale was at the time I had been playing it. So it just, I think a lot of it leaked in. And then before long, I had written like a whole chapter's worth of like audio, like 25 minutes of audio. And then from there, it was mostly about, once I realized that like years had gone by and I hadn't updated the soundtrack, but I had put a lot more graphics work into the game, I realized that I actually wasn't on track to improve as a composer at the same speed that I was improving as like an animator. So instead of doing all the audio myself, I decided that I would bring on a composer. And the same thing happened with animation too, to be honest. Like I realized I couldn't do all the animation myself. So I still am lead animator, but yeah, the idea of bringing on a team was just like, it became pretty obvious that I should be trying to do that. So I went from composing it all myself to writing briefs for a composer. And she's great. That's Morgan Ridley Smith. She's really good, and we work. I'm quite happy with how she works. Over time, it started being very like I would just dictate what I wanted very clearly, and I would give her like very specific references and guide her, really rigidly. And over time, I think I've kind of let up a little bit because I respect her style a little bit more as it's developed. So it's not as dictatory now. It's more just like, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is like the area of the game that I'm working on. It's going to feel like this. Here are some music references from other games that I think are similar. Oftentimes it's about replicating a feeling that I felt playing a different game or watching a movie or something like that. So as long as you have like some kind of reference, then it's not that difficult. You just have to have direction as a director, right? It's your job to know what you want it to feel like or look like. And a lot of that has to do with having something to say, DMCA notices. Oh, you mean streaming audio? I mean, we don't get DMCAs because this is all licensed music. We have like permission. A video game on Steam platform. Wait, you mean like you want to play DMCA music in like a trailer on a Steam page? Or you want to like use copyrighted material on Steam in a game? So annoying. I don't think I got that right at all. If you publish a game on Steam and then you get a DMCA on Steam, I'm not sure how you did that. You published a game on Steam. How did you get a DMCA on Steam for the published game? What was copyrighted? Okay, so you used an asset from someone else. Well, you should just take the asset out, right? It's serious only in that, like, you would, you know, they would make you take it out. I hate this. Wow. So it's like, that's fine. Like, that seems normal. And then that is okay. Maybe a little dramatic, but that's fine. Maybe if I do the in front part as well. But this is behind the sword. Okay. And then it's kind of behind everything, so you can't really feel or see it there. And then it's back here. Or maybe you could have it flicking kind of this way. And then by the time we're here, it's going to do that thing. There's this thing with material physics where when an object like a chain, for example, is like, let's say the chain is here and it gets thrown in the same direction like that gravity would want to take it, right? So here, when this lands here, right? Let's say the anchor is this triangle. So the anchor goes from there and whips it around as it goes. When it lands here, where does it swing? Now a chain, if a chain is long and swings there, what's going to happen probably, especially if it's got a bit of weight on the end, is it's going to be very chaotic. It's going to go bang, right? It doesn't go like if you take like a pendulum and you swing it from here that way, it's going to go boom, 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 like that. Whereas a chain or a cloak or something that's being flung over, let's say this is the bar and this is the cloak. If you flip it that way, when it hits here, it's not being, there's no torsion or like anything interesting happening in terms of the weight versus where the extremities are. So it probably will just do something very complicated where it'll, this part might bend this way and this part might wrap this way, and it might get all caught up in itself for a little bit and then relax. But what we want to do, we're using the cape to do something, we want to show motion, right? We want to communicate force, and just doing the material physics here might not get me something that's interesting. Like this is really cool. This shot here, that's really cool because the cape kind of shows us where we've been. Once we get to here, what I want to do is show the cloak flicking back the other way. So the cool shot that I want to see here is like arm up, head facing this way, sword arm out, sword sort of down. That's the shoulder, so you can do that. And then this here, and this arm like, this leg like that, and this leg like that. He's like off balance. Yeah, maybe like that or something. And in this shot, you want to show the cape being this way. That's kind of what I'm looking for, because it shows that it's being flung from here to there, right? So my feeling from like an art direction perspective is that I want this cape on the right into this cape on the left. The only problem is with the weight of the material being as heavy as it is, by the time we get to here, most of the velocity is probably dead. So you might not have any good reason, if you're just doing material physics, to have this here. It's probably dampened enough that it's just going to flop down. And it doesn't have enough sway laterally to swing it to the far left. It's just not going to happen. So I'm trying to create a plausible deniability. I'm trying to create enough probable cause for it to sort of do, what I want it to do. I just don't think we're going to necessarily get there. I'm a little concerned that there's not really a way for me to cheat the material physics side versus the art direction side. Like if I just do a physics sim, it's going to go up, it's going to go over, it's going to wrap here. Now it's all tangled up in itself. It's going to flop this way and it's going to drop right there. And then you know what it's going to do? It's going to come back this way a little bit. And then it's going to settle back here. That's what I would expect it to do. So we can simulate that a bit further by doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6. It's really not going to go very far. It's just not super satisfying visually to see it kind of just do its thing. Right? That's probably what it will do. And this isn't like, I'm not looking for suggestions here necessarily. I know this is the case. Like this is what will happen because I've done enough of these. You might not even get that honestly, you might just have this. You know, for all intents and purposes, like 8 of the 12 frames here, you might see something. 4 of them, you might see nothing. You know, here you might have a little bit of this like fold back, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So like this is the underside. So like frame 1, that's all under. You might have a little bit flopping over. Frame 2, probably like that maybe. Frame 3, frame 4, frame 5. And then, yeah, it's all behind him at this point. That's it. That's what you get if you're just doing physics. And when you smoothen that out. One of the reasons why I actually love pixel art is because I really feel confident that I can just do this. Like I don't even need to, you know, I don't need to run a physics sim in Blender. I feel like I just know enough. And the resolution is low enough that you can kind of just, if you spend enough time animating pixel art, you can just eyeball it. You know, maybe get a little bit of bounce here, maybe. And then it's also a frame rate thing. Like there might be some really cool jiggling we could have done if the frame rate was higher, but because it's not that high, there's not really that much that can be shown. This goes this way. This comes back this way. This goes there. So that's just it. I mean, like there is nothing more to it. For like 10 frames per second. See how like when we landed, there wasn't really much interesting to do at that point? Like when it flops here, it's taut, you know, all of the weight from back here has landed boop, in the exact same position that it's already going. See ya, Ashcon. And if you force it to be anything else than that, what you'll notice is that it'll start to, it just looks like you're stalling for time. Like it won't look good. It'll look like floaty or like a different material than what it actually is. Maybe better if we bring the arm up on this frame. This is I have like a little mantra that I use for this kind of thing. Yeah, it's his coat. It's not a cape. My mantra is not every photograph is realistic, but not every photograph is photogenic. So like you can do a perfect cloth sim. That doesn't mean that it looks good. So there's always an art design question that you can pose. Now, I think in this instance, this frame gives us, these two frames give us enough now because the sword's out of the way. That we kind of have something going on here. I might see if I can create a bit of a gap here. Still. Yeah. Because there's kind of like a moment there that I think sells a lot with the cloak. Do you develop the game yourself? Yep. I use Unity. That's right. I am the lead developer. We could probably push this a little bit further. Yeah, like ultimately, like something that is believable is better than something that's accurate. If the believable thing tells you something more interesting, it's better to do that. Because we don't really perceive the world perfectly. It's just not how our brains work. And so much of this is about storytelling, more so than it is about simulating real life. Most storytelling, most good movies that are set in a period of time will have like anachronisms. They'll have parts of the thing that don't make sense because that's not how it's not how it really was, but it makes more sense to you as the viewer. You might understand it better because it was done that way. You know, maybe like there would have been words back in the time that it was set that were used that are different to how we would use those same words today. And rather than use them accurately, they will use them how we use them because it just makes more sense to do it that way for us. Even if it's ahistorical. Hello. How you doing? Yeah, you had a long day. Just chill. You're all good. I'm coming. One sec. Be right back, chat. Okay. Yo, someone said that Extremely OK Games announced a new project. I wanted to see that. As someone making a tower fall like very soon. City of None. Okay. This looks like pretty... That looks like a project that they will finish. That looks like a more reasonably sized project for Extremely OK Games. Says the man making Insignia. Hey, the Ginger Dev. Life's good. I'm working on 2 projects at the moment. I'm working on Insignia, and I'm working on a side project that I have codenamed Slashcore. And the side project we started working on the weekend, or just before the weekend, and le weekend. And the main project, you know what it is. We're still working on it. Still making good progress. All right, let's try it in the game. Bit of fresh air. That's pretty much how I would describe it, yeah. You want to see it again? Everybody? Okay, first of all, that didn't look so good. It looked like the rattle. It looked like the... Oh, yeah, that's way off. The pivot point's not even close. Try that. Oh, no good. On and rattle. Good thing we have root motion detection in this game. So this is a track pivot animation, which means we go from here. This needs to go all the way to the end. And we're starting here and we're ending. This motion here needs to go all the way to... That's his chest there. And then this goes to here. All right, let's see it. Hopefully this works. Almost. The only problem is that we're not tracking it properly, so we need to look at this and look at every frame and move the chest where it needs to be. So frame 1 needs to put us all the way over here. But. And actually he kind of goes a little forward afterwards. So maybe, I mean, we could easily I could just fix everything so that he's in the same spot in the canvas, but I want to see if I can make this work. So it's more like this, like frame 1 is bow. And then there is okay. That's good. 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 Okay, that might work. Perfect. Get out of there. Cool. It's a couple of planks of wood bound together. I don't love it. The idea was that if you slash upwards, you separate it and it breaks. But I don't think we quite got there. The pivot point magic. So this is Retrobox. It's a plugin that I wrote. And I have a system that lets me place down a curve that models the pivot point. So this white dot, if his chest here is the pivot point, the next white dot, this one, should also be at his chest. So I can push it forward a little bit further. And then the next white dot should be at his chest. Perfect. The next white dot, next white dot, next white dot, next. So that now will track perfectly to his body. So if I go up here, get out of here. Cool. Yeah. So if I hold this, now his feet will be in the right spot every time. And I have an option here that's kind of cool where if I turn this checkbox off, instead it'll move him in that direction. So the checkbox says he's moving in the canvas. If I turn it off, it'll be move him in that direction. So like this one, this orange curve, literally moves him in physical space along that curve relative to his transform. So I could have put this here or there, or it doesn't matter where I put it, as long as the distance between here and here is where I want him to go in real space. So when I come over here and press this button, he does that backflip. In fact, that was a special curve on the wall, so it's that kick is what he just did. More backwards, but I've got another version where he doesn't go quite as far back. This one here, he just does a little one, smaller. So this Retrobox was like one of the first things that I built working on Insignia, and I started in 2017. And the reason was because it's not just about pivot points, it's about hitboxes too. So, you know, it's a fighting game sort of setup. Characters have hurt boxes and hitboxes that dictate where they can take damage from. And I knew that I wanted to have that as a feature of the game. So how else was I going to author all of these boxes against the character, if not in my own custom editor? At least that was the thought. And it's super dependent on the animations, of course. You know, this reaches a lot higher than the normal attack. I've also got properties on all the hitboxes, like how much damage they're going to do, the knockback, how heavy the knockback is, if there's hit stop, poise damage for enemies that are guarding. There's tons of metadata that get attached to these things. So I was showing you this this side project that I'm working on. It is called, like I said, Slashcore, CORPS, at least so far. And it's going to be a little 2D fighting game for local multiplayer. And the idea is that it's only got one button so far. And the way it works is you use the analog stick to flick yourself where you want to go. And if you look at this is like where we are currently flicking from. And then the power is determined by how far back you flick. So if you flick from here, it's a little one. If you flick from here, it's a big one. So big, little, little, little. And you can do multiple in the air. I was very happy with this. I worked on this right after the stream on Friday. My wife was able to pick it up in on Saturday. My wife was able to pick this up in 2 seconds. It's very straightforward. So still a fair bit to figure out in terms of how it's going to play. I wonder what happens when you have two people. I guess with knockback it should be okay. But if we're both here and we're both smashing each other, what happens? Maybe it's just a knockback question. I'm thinking I'll disable collisions after you get hit, just for a little bit, so that you can't collide with the same person twice. Okay. Back to Insignia. Why do I even need this frame? No, not bloody or gory. I kind of just let them dissipate with like a cool visual effect and let it be. I didn't want it to be, yeah, bloody or gory. And I didn't want to have to design unique hurt animations, like death animations for every single enemy. One of my rare occasions of not wanting to scope creep. Oh, I have something I need to do. I just realized I was doing a task like 2 days ago and it just dawned on me that I need to keep doing it. You ever get those moments where you're like, oh, just like lost track of time on something and moved on, and then like days later, it just rushes back to your head. Hey, Lathe. Pixel Krabby says, how do you know when it's time to swap placeholders for real game art / animations? I'm worried about losing coding momentum, but I really want to start animating. Any advice? Also, thanks for the pixel art videos. Oh, thank you so much, Pixel Krabby. This is a question about mostly to do with, again, direction. So we were talking about direction a little bit earlier. Direction in this context is about understanding when good enough is good enough and what moving forward looks like. So like here, something that's good enough means you have it on good authority that that thing is not going to change. That's what it means. To the extent that it has been detailed. And that's a really important part. So of course it's going to change in that it's not final. It's not a final asset, but to the extent that you need in order to make forward steps, you need to know that it's not going to change drastically. It's not going to become something else before you can commit proper resources into putting it into production. So like in this context, you know, we're doing an animation right now. Now, I probably could have, there are scales here about like suitability. So if I just sit here, for example, and I don't know, fight this guy here, you know, this animation, there are criteria for it that it needs to meet in order to be proper. So one of those criteria is, does it have, let me go over here and fight this guy, hang on. So one of the criteria is like, it needs to leave me open to getting attacked a second time. So it needs to last like half a second at least. 2, I can't act out of it. So it needs to show me that my character is inactive or off balance. So if it lasts a certain amount of time and it shows me that I'm off balance, it also has to be something that loops back into the guard state. So that if I just hold the button down and I get hit multiple times, I loop back into the same animation I was in before. Okay. There's a whole bunch of things that I could have done inside of that brief that would have been acceptable. For example, we could have just gone into one animation that looked like it was 2 frames, like or something like that. But the fluid version is good in that it's continuous motion and it keeps you, you're sort of like waiting for the point where he stops moving because he's so unbalanced. So that I think comes with a natural bit of communication in it of like, hey, he's not stable, he's moving consistently. Because playtesting it was all red before, it was just like a big red blob. In fact, it was like a red blob of a head and a red blob of an arm and a red blob of 2 legs and the sword, a white blob of the sword. That in that context, playtesting it as blobs and seeing that it worked in the space, that's when I felt comfortable to commit to animation. Obviously, also making sure that my character's not going to change, which it hasn't for months and years, so it's not a big deal. A beehive underground? Well, it's not strictly speaking underground. We're kind of like above ground, below ground. There's a cave wall here, but plenty of bees build hives underground, right? That's pretty common. Also, these are wasps, but well, they're bees. Who can say? They are bees. Somebody said that that's actually a wasp's nest. They were saying there's no actual bees that make nests that look like that. Those are wasp nests. But also, it's a video game. I would never make a choice like that. I would never make a choice like that based on realism. It's just not a good idea. It doesn't, no one cares. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just not relevant to the video game. You know, maybe if the beehive was like in someone's house, that would be, I might not do that. But if it's if the environment is where the beehives are and the environment happens to go underground for a little bit, I'm not going to change the environment design for the sake of the beehive. You know, that's nonsense. So it's just not a question worth caring about as a designer, because it doesn't affect like literally anything about the game, how it plays, how it feels, whether or not someone would want to play it, which are all much more important than like, do bees make hives underground? You know, it's too picky of a question to matter. Ah, the hell? No, sorry, chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hit the wrong button. My Ace Bright button is in the exact same spot as my in my Stream Deck as my my Ace Bright button's in the same middle top position on the Stream Deck as the Start Stream button. The only difference is that the Start Stream button's on a different page, but they're on the same. They're in the same spot, and they both are multi-actions. So they have this diamond button that they both look like. So if I'm on the wrong page, I never know, and then it's too late. Alrighty. So what's happening here is I want to make sure that I've got the colors right. Link cells. Okay, so like, yeah, here, this needs to be more like that. And honestly, I wonder if even this rattle first frame doesn't need to be there. It might just go straight to this. Yo, did anybody catch the recent fan episode of Berserk that came out? There is like a team of people making a fan animation of Berserk. It's honestly extremely watchable. It's quite good. And it looks exactly like the 1997 anime. They have like hand painted backgrounds and all kinds of stuff like that that make it look so authentic. I'm very, very, very impressed by it. I mean, like, watchable in the sense that it's clearly trying to be 1997 Berserk, but it's like succeeding at being 1997 Berserk in almost all the ways it needs to. The only thing that's not good about it is the voice acting's pretty average. It really sounds like a fan animation. It sounds like a bunch of people on Discord doing the voice lines, unfortunately. But it looks like phenomenal. It looks better than any other media that I've watched that was Berserk themed has been bad actively. This is the first time I've watched something that was berserk themed that was legitimately made me feel like how the original made me feel. Oh, can't do that. I really think we could go over on this frame. Further. I think also these need to go like up. And this is where layering would have helped a lot. We've got some layers in here. No, that needs to be higher. But even higher. This frame, I think also eyes shut. Nope. You can have one more up, but then it has to drop down straight away. You could do this. It has to be all the way up the top though. Almost like push it even further, I think. Because the elbow, with something heavy like this, your elbow is very easy to lift. Your wrist, very hard to lift. So the idea is that his elbow would be way up here, and the sword, the weight of the sword is gonna force him to catch it underneath. But it's easy to do this. And then I guess you would also make the sword drop too. Something like that. Could almost flip this vertically. Nah. I still kind of like it being up on this frame at least. Yeah. Still not right, is it? It really is more like this. Oh, I just hate that. Maybe we shoot more for something like this. Just get rid of this altogether. No. I think we just got to be inconspicuous here. Just let it be what it wants to be and give up on it. Yeah, it's fine. In fact, it could even be better to get out of the way of the leg. Looks pretty good. Little bit of noise around here, I suppose. All right. Now let's get this crossover looking good. This is terrible, man. What are these two layers? I think we could just merge them down. I'm fiddling around so much with this clothing, but it all should be on the same layer for now. I think we're just done with that. Yep. And then I really don't like this frame in particular. This one frame in particular really bothers me. I guess it's okay. That's okay. It doesn't feel right though. It's because his butt shifts so far off to the left on this one. Okay. That's pretty good right there. Done. Thanks, Sahiro. Thank you so much. All right, let's see that in the game. It's great. I think there's something wrong with the final frame is, I mean, if I take this and copy paste it and put it at the end and then drag it, we're kind of not in the same spot as we want to be. I think it's doing that. But in the game, how far are we relative to where we started? Hang on. His foot kind of pivots in a way that's, it comes, the knee drops. Yeah, see that knee pivot on the front? I think we need to end up not here. This knee and this knee need to be more like that one. We need to be interpolating towards that. And we're not currently there yet. So here, this needs to be a twist back this way. Yeah, we can do that for now, that's okay. And then this needs to be more like this. Because we're going to end up I think I got it. It's this motion here goes, oh, it's pretty good, but the belt is wrong. It almost needs to start here. It's open, and then it needs to start to close back over this way. Open, and then a twist so that this knee is more like this. Oh, that's huge too. Yeah, this knee is always facing that way. It never doesn't face that way. So this pivot needs to stay knee over this side, I think. Like, that's no good at all. Yeah, man, it's tough. I think we need to keep all of this facing this way. Like this knee is like almost all the way down here. And then like every frame where the knee is coming back up this way needs to not be there. It needs to be all the way back over here. Same thing here. And I think this leg needs to be like way further out there to catch. Oh man. It was so good, and now just to get it back to a spot where it makes sense, I need to change so much. Whew. What am I working on? Working on an animation of a character getting destabilized in an attack. Yeah, like this, realistically, not realistically, but like for a character, I would want this further out, like there even. Push it even further. If I was giving feedback to somebody doing an animation, I'd say push it. Make him really look extended. And then he has to lean his body into that. That's better. Yeah, that's way more natural now. Okay, so there. Take that away. Well, I am pretty quick with this stuff. And my team is not as senior as me. So I should be able to do it faster than them. Yeah, exactly. And then this frame here, we're already pushing this like that. This comes back this way. Yeah, that's better. And then this, because we're twisting back outward, the jacket now turns away from us as we move. Yeah, like this is gone. That's there. That's there. That's there. More even like that. And then this leg can go back out. And same here. And then here. Like this. That. We can even push this back that way. If we really want, we could do this. Push this up. Bring this back. Bring all of this. What was I doing? This that way by a pixel. Ding, 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 ding. Take that away. Start showing the seam of that. Take this away. Bring that down. No, actually, we're not going that way. We're staying down like this. Aren't we? Cool. Okay. Delete that. Keep that. Export that. Go. I think we didn't quite get the retro box thing right. Hello. Hey, what's happening?
I'm so hungry.
You hungry? What are you feeling like now?
I didn't have anything.
Do you want to get something?
No, I don't want to leave the house.
Okay. Do you want me to get something? I don't know.
So hungry.
I know, but it's only 5:30.
What is your
Okay, one sec, pals. Okay, we're back. Did I just talk into my headphones? You didn't hear that. Okay. Close. He shifts forward by 1 pixel at the end, which means that he shifts forward by a pixel, which means I need to move this thing back by like a pixel. Nice. Okay. Only other thing that I would change is this needs to come back so that this can be up here. This comes back, this comes back. The heck's that? Because we're going back to this frame. It's close. I think I want it even higher. And then I think we need to bring the tip of the sword needs to come up. Still don't love this pose, but it's in between, so it doesn't have to be perfect. That's good. Nice. It's meeting all my standards. Whew. Cool. Maybe we can do a little bit of this. Ow. Oh, I got greedy. I just want to try something that's probably... What the heck just happened? There we go. Oh, they're not... We need to be combat unlocked. Oh my god, we're gonna die in here. Oh, he actually freaking countered me. What the heck? Your turn. Oof. I really like the aerial into the plunge. I love that. Yeah, buddy. So fun. I just need like one. There's like one more thing I don't have in the game, which I'm kind of hoping for, which would be something where you charge it up, hold it, and then like a smash attack, basically. Like I just want a Sorry, pals. I was trying to say, I think it would be really cool is like, because what I really want is a smash attack, Smash Brothers style. Like, I want to be able to like charge something up and really wallop somebody with it mid combo. That's like the thing that I don't have. It's like I'm forced to just jab, but I don't have any inputs left that I would use to do that. Let me just get this guy, hang on. Yeah, so maybe we have like accessories that give you like special actions, and then those will swap out other actions that you would have had, so you are kind of forced into a build. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would do there. Because I want to be able to do some big charge up attack. I really want that. I'm just not sure what it would be on. Like, if I'm in this scene, what would I want? I'd want to press the button. Already. Maybe if I press them both at the same time. We do have a strange, not a strange, but like an uncommon doubling up that we could swap out. So right now, the game doesn't really care which button you press first. If you press the attack button first, you go into guard, and then you can press down or up or back or forward to do directional attacks. If you press a direction and an attack, you will get that attack as well. Same thing, except backwards. You can't back attack unless you guard first. So my question is there a way I could, maybe if I do smash attacks, like if I flick the stick and hit the button at the same time? I just don't think, I think I'm overloading it at that point. It's too close. We could put a charge attack on an ensign. I wonder if like maybe even, I mean the directions are okay. I think I just like, when I'm fighting an enemy, there's this moment where I feel like I want to really give them hell. I want to like punish them and do something really cool. And I want some sort of like combo finisher, big attack. For some reason, it just feels like that's what I want. Like in Smash Brothers, you know, you do a big combo and you end it with a big smash attack to knock them off the stage. You know, here it's like, okay, bang, bang, bang. Now I want to really hit you to finish off the combo. It's like because they have the pressure bar. When the pressure bar is like about to run out, it's like I want to do my biggest hit last to like complete the phase, basically. Like end my turn with my biggest hit. No, I would never bind the player actions to enemy states. It has to be something that I can do. Charge back? Well, in this game, you don't face the enemy, so I can't charge back. I could make it that all of the directional attacks are on release. Right now, if you let go in a direct, if you just tap in a direction while holding the attack button, it does the attack. But I could make it hold until you release it. I just don't know if that's... Maybe we could pull that off. This is one of those things where like at the end of the game, it might make more sense. Like once I know what's in everything. I mean, not that we're pretty close at this point. Yeah, keyboard too. You could do it with digital controls. It's not a big deal. Oops, my mistake. Oof. No, I'm in the middle of that at the moment. I mean, the story's planned out, but it's not like playable in the game yet. The game is doing so much right. I have very little criticism in terms of how it plays or anything like that. I'm quite happy. There would be a few things left that I probably want to fix up. Oof. But in terms of like the layouts and how the game solves certain problems, I'm mostly happy with them. Oh. No. I'm just missing a charge attack, I think. It's like the only thing. Oh. Maybe like, there's also like, maybe I want like some sort of a sprint button or something like that. Like I've got a sprint button, but like faster. Like maybe maybe some shoes that you can get. I think I need like sprint shoes. The point of a game like this is to break it. Like all of the limitations, the parts that are slow, that annoy people, I want to give you gear that lets you break those limitations and make the game feel really, really good for you. You know, the people who want to just blitz through, like, I want them to be able to do that, but not until they've earned it. Oh God, I'm getting stun locked. Hello? That's annoying. Anyway. Any advice on learning how to do Octopath Traveler style character sprites? They're mostly side-scroller sprites, right? Or top-down sprites. I don't have any specific advice, unfortunately. I haven't really done an Octopath exercise before. All right, so let's add this. Adds. Oh, this is the wrong Insignia. Adds. Rattle animation to the game. That's not right. Let me rename that. Reword. Updates. Polished. Rattle. Animation. Better. No. It would be the boots and not like the way that the game works is I'm actually pretty happy with it. You get like spawn item accessory pouch, and then you have like slots. So hang on a second. We don't have anything here. It would be like spawn spiky. Hang on. Spawn item iron pauldron. So when you get equipment in the game, you can only fit so much. So like we could do something like spawn item. Is it gluttony or gluttony with one N? What is it called? Let me check. It's called Gluttony Ring. That should work. There it is. So again, like here we could probably fit that ring, but now you can't also fit something that takes an L shape that goes to the left. So you might be able to sort of, fiddle around with it. Like that. Now you could fit something that goes like that. So if there's boots and the boots were like this, like an L shape, a normal L shape, you'd need to sort of do like that, and then you could put the boots in there. And then you wouldn't be able to add anything else until you got another accessory row or you took something off. So it's pretty much exactly the Dark Souls system. Plus, or I guess like Resident Evil. And then the items actually have like effects. So like I'm wearing a pauldron that gives me like, I don't know, 5% damage reduction. All right, there are things that I need to do for Insignia that I need to work on. So it's backgrounds for Hithen area. And then it's also new update for the pressure system. We're going to test beta test, update beta test with pressure system. All right, cool. So I need to animate this as well. I want to put it in a trailer. I'd love to shoot a lot of footage for the trailer. We really need, oh, that was the other thing I need to do. I've decided, like, even if I don't put a trailer out, I need to put out like a video onto the Steam page that's just got gameplay in different parts of the game. Like just watching the game do its, you know. Well, I've had a trailer for the game ready for months, but I put together a trailer like a year ago, and the problem is it didn't have in-game sound effects because I muted them when I recorded it. I recorded the gameplay with the music and the sound effects, and then I didn't want the music in the trailer, so I muted the video, but then now I can't re-put the sound effects in unless I re-record it. And now it's like a year old, and there's actually some really cool features in the game that are now added since the last year that make it much more clear what the game is. So, like, the map didn't exist a year ago. So being able to just go whoop and show people like the game moving around, you know, showing the player like open and close the map, go to a merchant, buy something, you know, fight an enemy. Even just seeing this system, I think is really cool. That B shouldn't have B. Should not make that sound. Behaviors. Oh, I'm so funny. Oh, I'm hilarious. Behaviors, chat. He's a comedian. You want to see the old trailer? There we go. I actually have 2 trailers. I could show you 2 old trailers if you wanted. I have one from 2020. You want to see the 2020 trailer? This is Insignia Teaser 1, Rough Cut. Check it out. Six years ago. I did. I wrote that song. Anyway, that's from a long, long, long time ago. And then this is a more recent version, sort of that trailer that I'm still not like happy with 100%, but I think this version, let me just make sure it's the right one. You want to see it? You excited? No, those were commissioned. Pretty good, huh? I will change. Yeah, I'll change a lot about that one. I wasn't, look, I'll be like super duper honest. I wasn't crazy happy with how the anime parts came out, especially the last bit. They were just like things that I was hoping for that I didn't quite get. And it just wasn't, this is something that wasn't quite there. And I've still got like a while before it really matters. No, it's not on YouTube. So I haven't, this is the thing, like I'm so protective over this game that like I really want, I kind of like, and it's been tearing me up, but like I kind of don't want attention until I know that what I show like blows people away. I don't know why. It's just the way that I feel. And as long as the game, like there's like at least like a year and a half to go before the game is at a place where it looks like what it's going to look like. And even in this shot, even in this trailer, there's a lot of chapter 1. I showed a little bit more of chapter 2 and 4 and that, but like there's like more. There's more, like a lot more. It's like if you showed off a trailer for Lord of the Rings and it was just the Shire. It's like, that's not enough. So it's not to say that I shouldn't release a trailer very soon that's very much like the one that I just showed you. I will, but it's almost not, I don't know. Like it would be great to be able to show off like the new enemies that we've done recently and the map. Again, you didn't see the map just in that one. The idea of like showing the breadth of content. And then there's a lot of polish that's been put into the game that isn't in that trailer. Like I showed you in that trailer a little bit of an area that looks like this, but it was all the graphics weren't right. So, you know, I don't know. It's just tough. And it's not like, I know that I'm passing up opportunities by not having the trailer, but I know the trailer is a bullet that I can only shoot once out of the gun, the initial trailer. And once you get people's attention, if you don't have like a lot that you can do with it, I feel like it wanes. It just sort of, the attention comes and goes. So I'd rather have people's attention when I want to use it. You know, the wish list is a good option. It's great to get more wish lists. And I would love to have, if we had 20K wish lists right now, that'd be amazing. But I don't know if I want random people who don't know anything about the project to learn about the project via that trailer that I just showed you. I don't think it's there yet. I don't know why. And I would sooner put a video on the Steam page that was just like gameplay footage. I would do that, of just like showing a little thing happening for like 15 seconds. Or a vlog about the game on the YouTube channel. But like a trailer needs to be like, it needs to look like it's definitely coming out and it's definitely going to be amazing and it's already like almost finished. That's when I see a trailer, unless it's a teaser, that's what I expect. I don't know. I know why it doesn't hit as hard as it can, because it's not yet able to. Well, there's a few things, but I think most of it is like editing, like cohesive storytelling in the trailer, but also diversity. Like this game, a lot of, in a way, what I think a trailer has to do for this kind of game is explain why this has taken so long visually, you know, like show you, oh wow, this is a big game, rather than it's a platformer. My personal opinion about Insignia: stinky old Insignia has some better color choices in some places than it has now. The art itself not so much, obviously. Where would you say? That's an interesting suggestion, Robin. Which parts do you feel like have better choices of color? Just the contrast in like this area, like this area used to have like, it was like black in here. I think with the shaders, with the current shaders, it looks pretty good. To me personally. I don't know. Maybe the brown is a little muddy. Like this color? Is it this color we don't like? I actually don't. I mean, I like it. I'm happy. I wouldn't change it. Yeah. I think the trailer colors are higher contrast, and the new trailer are lower contrast. No. Don't worry about it, Swizz. Well, the first trailer is from 2020. The second trailer is from 2025. In the second trailer, I haven't got the current shaders on the game, so it doesn't look as saturated. It looks a little more washed out. Also, this is a nighttime scene, or like an evening scene at the moment. So if I switch this out, I think it'll look a bit better. Like, I think this looks fine to me. Yeah, I would say consider that you can do the same thing with detail as well. So yes, there's a lot of color on the screen, but where's all the detail? The detail is in the areas where the gameplay is. Here, there's no detail, so it guides your eye away from it. But, I mean, I agree we could darken that area. I've seen it done both ways. Maybe I'll bring it back down. It's not hard. I could just go literally to literally go to this here and then darken the colors. Yeah, I use tons of shaders. Tons, question. I mean, I could literally just do that. You find your eye drawn to the blobs? Well, that's not appropriate. I don't know how much darker I would go, to be honest. I'm not really feeling... This whole conversation is giving me the ick a little bit. I'm not loving it. It doesn't feel quite... It feels like I have a stable vision and the vision is being disrupted a little bit. I don't like tweaking colors this way. Yeah, I just have a feeling this isn't going to look good. Like I'm not super into it already. You prefer this? I mean, hypothetical. That's too dark. To me. To my eyes, that's no good. I don't think the contrast is that necessary, though. I don't think like pushing, personally, I don't think pushing the brown to black is a good direction. We might be able to push it a little bit, but like, I really don't think it's like generally a good idea. Hello?
No, you did. Ben is not here.
Okay, I'll call it in a sec. Like maybe like that, we could get away with that. There's like a softness that I'm intentionally going for, you know what I mean? Even this, I feel like, is higher contrast, but not... I don't know if that's better to me. It kind of looks worse. I think I'm just going to leave it back where it was. In fact, I will go specifically to all of this and that, and that. And get rid of them. In fact, I could just get rid of everything. I appreciate and accept the fact that the game in this chapter does feel a little bit soft. I will say that. I accept that. Can I re-import this? Thanks, Banderdan. Why doesn't that work? What's going wrong here? Oh. Errors detected. Your tile asset may not function properly. Eh? Tag manager. What the heck? Wait, where is the tag manager? Wait, what? What the heck's just happened? Why did my pulleys die? They didn't import anymore. Everything broke. How is that possible? Create pulley. How the hell did I screw that up? Okay. So Insignia STTU importer. Create pulley. No. Insignia Where does this live? Custom TMX importer. Assets, prefabs, environment, pulley lift. Oh, I must have moved it. I must have moved the prefab at some point. Yes, I did. Copy path. That's why. I moved the asset. Oh, easy fix. All right, I'm going to go. This was fun. I want to catch you all tomorrow for more Insignia dev. Dude, working on Slashcore over the weekend and on Friday gave me so much energy for Insignia. Bet you didn't see that coming. I feel really good about working on both projects and I'm really excited about them both. I think I just needed like something that I could invest some like immediate hope into, that made me feel good about what I was doing. I just felt kind of stuck and stale on Insignia. Not in a bad way, not in a way that like I wasn't moving anywhere, but like in a way that I wasn't feeling anything different day to day. Yes, additional secondary project Slashcore. PS /corpse. So I was doing some character design. I'm feeling good. I kind of know what I want this to be like. I'm not 100% on these yet, but I think we're getting there. Anyway, let's find someone to raid and get out of here. I'll catch you all tomorrow, yeah? Jackie. Thanks, everyone. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Wishlist Insignia on Steam if you're excited for it, or if you just want to help me out. And that's it. As always, I've been Adam. You've been the Pixel Pals. This has been the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Until next time,